up, I have some fun projects to show you all. Let's see if I can find my correct tab here. So let's go through and I will show you what I have come across online. So this first project, well, it's an FO at this point, is by Linda Frank. And she did, I think these are the heel toe do-si-do socks by Crazy Sock Lady. And she used Cordially Yours Santa. And I got the impression that she's doing multiple pairs of these socks, which is fabulous. I love it. All right. And then she also started this pair. She didn't mention a pattern, so it could just be a vanilla sock pattern, but she's using Pomp and Circumstance on sparkly sock and then also a skein. That green is Forest. And I have to tell you, I cannot wait to see these socks a little further along because they're looking very interesting. So I'm excited to see some progress photos, I have to say. And then some more fabulous socks. And I think this is a pair of vanilla socks. And she said that she's using Riddle Me This. And then because she could not just do one color socks, she tried. She couldn't. She added Girls Just Want to Have Fun in there, which is awesome. I love that. Such a great colorway. So I'm glad you're using it, Anne. And then Triagonal. So Cindy Harrison, look at this, y'all. This is her third Triagonal shawl. And I want to say I saw yesterday she posted a whip and she only had so many more decreases to go, but then she just whipped it out because I think I saw this early this morning. So yeah, she finished it. Oh, no problem. And that very cool colorway is called Heelin' Koo. I think I said that right, Karen. Pardon me if I didn't. But anyway, it was, yeah, that was dyed. It was inspired by the Highland Coos over in Scotland. So very nice. All right. And then Cheryl posted this. She is knitting the Renaissance sweater and is using, sorry, I'm looking at my notes because it looks like there's one project that did not get uploaded. All right. So anyway, she is using Keeping It Cool. That's the green, and then Swan White. And I think I know the one that I'm missing, so I'll show it next week. Cindy B, y'all may have seen, finished her Martha shawl, which looks amazing. What a stunning, stunning piece of work. So I don't know. I made the whip picture with it, but somehow when I uploaded, sometimes I usually double check to make sure they're all there. But I think what happened today is I uploaded them and then I was like, oh, wait, there was one that I forgot last week. And I meant to make a whip picture out of it this week because I had forgotten it. But when I remembered it, my phone was already hooked up to be used when my phone is what I use to make the whip pic. So here it is without the whip background. But Gwen Porter had posted this a couple weeks ago now. This is the anchor tee, and she put in stripes, which I absolutely love. It's a great technique with any project, especially if you have wild and crazy skeins, which she didn't even use wild and crazy skeins, but I just love the striping effect. Anyway, it's the anchor tee. I don't know if I said that. And she used Spirit of Freedom is the dark blue, and then flannel pajamas. I remember that. That was a Soxy U colorway. And I remember it because I just love it so much. That is such an awesome colorway. And then the lighter colorway is called Pumpkin Everything. So very nicely done, Gwen. So, and Cindy, I apologize. I will definitely post your shawl next week because it is gorgeous, gorgeous. All right. So I don't have a lot to show. I'll be honest. I did, however, finish something. Okay. I have an FO. So let's see here. I finished, and I don't have them on sock blockers because they're all being used for other things, which I'll show you in a minute. But these are the garnet and gold socks that I knit for my stepdaughter, Kayla. So I used garnet and gold. And then, of course, and I made her twinsies just because I didn't know if she would appreciate radically different socks. She's she's a hippie at heart. So, and that's that is her dad's affectionate description of her. She would probably love wild and crazy socks, but for now she's getting these, her first pair of socks. We'll see how she does with them. We'll find out if she's knit worthy and if she gets more socks in the future. So I will save those and give them to her. We'll go up at Thanksgiving, so I'll give her an early Christmas gift. And then I still have to knit a hat for her boyfriend. So yes, she does have a heart of gold. She's amazing. She would probably love whatever. You know, what's funny is actually I think she's told me now more than once that she would love to have one of those massive chunky blankets that you have to like hand knit because the yarn is so chunky. And I'm like, girl, I don't think you're getting that from me. We'll see how she does with socks, right? Okay. So anyway, I finished that. I did start. Let me show you. Oh, where should I put these? Okay, I don't want to lose them. I did start my baddie for Halloween socks. Oh, let's see. So I made a copy. I didn't bring the book in with me today. I made a copy of the pattern because I like to write. I'm gonna be writing all over my pattern. It's just what I do. For example, I already did, she has you do 13 rounds for the cuff. I did 15. So I wrote that down. So stuff like that. So, and I only did the cuff. And I think I was like, what's your problem, Carolyn? So I'm using pumpkin patch, of course, is going to be the main color. And I think the reason that I'm hemming and hawing and I haven't gone further is this. So it's a color work sock, right? I've shown you all. It has bats on it. There's the color work chart. But as y'all know, some people will go up a needle size when they do color work. But I don't typically like to do that. And I only have had a problem one time, which was before I learned how to capture my floats. And once I learned how to do that, it typically is not a problem for me. Like, you know, my tensioning is decent. There's a lot that I do wrong, but my tensioning is okay. So I don't typically like to go up a needle size or anything like that. But she has, she has you next to do an increase round. And some of it might be to make sure that you have the right number of stitches for the color work chart. However, I know that's not the entire reason, because the smallest size has you cast on 56 stitches. And then the second size has you cast on 64 stitches. That's the size I typically do for myself. I cast on 64 stitches, size 1 needle. But she has you going up. So the increase round for my size, she has you going up to 80 stitches. That's 16 more stitches in a round. And this first size has you going from a 56 stitches up to 64, which is where I'm already at, 64, right? And so in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to do the increases. So like I said, because 64 stitches will obviously work with the chart, that means that my size, I could just leave it at 64 stitches, do the color work chart. And as long as my tensioning is okay, then I'll be okay, right? That's what I'm thinking. So I think I'm just going to leave it. I'm not going to increase. I'm going to stick with, I guess it'll now be size 1. And then just remember, I'm guessing at the end, she has you decrease down. I didn't even look at that. And that's another thing. I think it's maybe a heel flap. I will be doing a shadow wrap heel because I'm spoiled now. And yeah, no, that's the toe. I don't know. I don't necessarily see a decrease round. That's interesting. So maybe she just has you decreasing from, your greater stitch count. But for me, I would just decrease as normal. So does that make sense? So I think that's, now that I've made the decision, I can move forward with that. Is the pattern on? Oh yeah, I'm sure, Tish, that it is. Oh, that's a good idea. I could probably look. Yeah. And again, I'm sure that it's just, hey, Diane, did I say hi to you? I'm sorry. That, sorry, I'm trying to figure out what Bo was saying. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about, honey. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that's the deal with my socks. So I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, I want to show y'all. I got something in the mail. I don't know if I told y'all that Michelle, one of our swans, who's also a sock cranker, sent me an email and she said, hey, if you want to send me some yarn, I'll crank you some socks for display purposes and all that good stuff. And I was like, yes, please. So we struck up a deal and I just got some socks back. So I thought I'd show you. I'm only showing you one of each, the one that I put on sock blockers. The other, there is two of each, but, and we're already fighting over who gets them in this house when I don't need them for display purposes anymore. But this first one might be my favorite. So this is Nautical Wheelers is the main color. Oh, that's why I had my cowl in here and I've already taken it out. I knew I had the cowl in here. Anyway, which I'll mention in a minute. So this is Nautical Wheelers with the slate. And Bo made the comment. He said, wow, that really gives it a totally different vibe than having it with Cavendish. So if y'all remember the ooey gooey cowl that I had Laura do a sample knit and I showed it last week. I think it was last week. Was it the week before? Anyway, I showed it. It had Nautical Wheelers with Cavendish and totally different look. Still gorgeous, but here you really see the blues coming through. Bo made a comment about dirty overalls and yeah, it's a very cool look. So I love that. These would be great with jeans. I mean, obviously, who doesn't like a bright, colorful pair of socks with whatever you're wearing? But these just struck me as like that would be good to wear with a pair of denim. And then Under the Mistletoe, which I have a sample of this in my Fluffy DK, but it's a completely different project. And so I had Michelle pair it with Mossy is the mini there accent. And then, of course, you may have seen this on social media because I already posted it. This is what Little Storm Cloud looks like. How cool is that? Look at those bright pops of color in there. And I had her pair it with a berry mini. I love that. That's awesome. This is very cool. All right. And then this is Hot and Cold is the main color. So you see it's got, and I could have sent her some burnt to go with that, burnt butter, but I sent Spirit of Freedom and also a little bit of Swan White because I was like, I don't know if you have enough Spirit of Freedom in that because I sent her some yarn I had already used. Anyway, so I was like, you might need some Swan White, so take that too. And anyway, so she put Swan White on the heel. So how good does that look? And then cookie crumbs. And you could use burnt butter with that, would look awesome. Aubergine would look good. I sent her a sweet cherry pie mini, and I love that too. That's a good, good fall color. So cookie crumbs and sweet cherry pie. So anyway, so yeah, so those will be, I'll have those as samples, and I'll do some social media content and all that good stuff with it. And she also was kind enough to send me a little cozy for that she had. She took some of the leftover yarns. So you see Mossy, Nautical Wheelers, Sweet Cherry Pie, Nautical Wheelers again, and Slate. So she made me cranked out a little cozy. How awesome is that? So yeah, so that was, thank you, Michelle. That was wonderful. I loved opening up that package. So, all right, what else? I haven't made more progress on my Triagonal. I'm going to be honest, there was not a lot of knitting going on here this week. Yeah. So Diane, want to try a shadow wrap heel? Yes. And the best video that I have found is, in fact, one of y'all told me about her, Earth Tones Girl. I think it's her. Now when I type in Earth Tones Girl, that video comes up automatically, because every time I've had to look at it, I look at her video and it comes up. But she has a couple actually on the shadow wrap heel that are good. If you want the link, email me and I'll send you that specific. It was the best one of her videos that I found. And I was so proud. My last pair of socks, I was actually able to do the heel without watching the video because I remembered the formula. And that's what's so cool about it. Not only is it pretty quick, but it's nice to have, oh, this is kind of my formula. I know exactly what to do. So if I'm in the car knitting, I don't have to worry about having the pattern there, looking at it. I can just do my heel. So it's very good. Thank you, Kim. Yes, those are some very good colors for sure. So, oh yeah, the Christmas tree lights. I know. I love it so much. I didn't even think about that. That's very cool. Yes. Hey, Mary Ellen, happy to see you on here. No, I believe she is doing everything right on the machine. I'll ask her because I'm going to see her next weekend. In fact, I have a couple of things I need to chat with her about. But I believe that she is doing the heel right there on the machine. I could be wrong because I know a lot of people do afterthought heels, but that to me looks kind of machine done. Could be wrong. And then even the toe. And I know the hung hem is for sure. I'm confident of that. So yeah, I think she does it all. She's a master. All right, let's see. All right, Denise DeSantos. Is that her name, Diane? Earth Tones Girl? I don't know. Is that what you're telling me? When you all comment, you got to give me the full details, especially if it's something that I've now switched to a new topic, because I'll just forget all about it. It's like I need a reference point to bring me back. All right, let's look